Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to play with the Tidradio TD-H3. TID has come a long way, they are trying really hard. Let's see all the new things that TID has to offer. The world's fastest unboxing! Ta-da! Alright, this is the Tidradio TD-H3 and it comes with a little card here that gives you information on contacting support with a phone number. I don't know, it says WhatsApp, but I don't know if you can use that with a regular telephone or not. And you can download the user manual, you can download the programming software, and you can look at a video, which you're kind of already doing, at walkietalkiessoftware.com. No, walkie-talkie software. There's only one S there. Awesome. The user manual, it is pretty thick. It has got lots of pictures. It's got a small amount of mistakes, but so far not too bad. Let me check something. Yeah, the manual is pretty good. It really goes into details on using their OD Master app. I mean, you've got screenshots and directions and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. But it would be nice to, like, there's buttons here. Let's talk about that too. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Talking about it, these radios have been in existence for a while now. TID Radio's had a couple of years of experience at this. And I mentioned this earlier on a Baofeng video. I think that these manuals should really reach out to where their price point puts their consumer, if that makes sense. The consumer of this radio is either A, an experienced ham who knows just about everything, you know, like we all do as experienced hams, and doesn't need any manual at all. They just want to play with the radio because it's a cheap radio and it's fun to play with and we've all got gear acquisition syndrome. Got it. It's fine. Not a problem there. Maybe some more advanced stuff, you know, like whether this is a system on a chip or a heterodyne radio. It's a system on a chip radio. You know, some programming interfaces, some cable pinout references, things along those lines would be fantastic for a more advanced user. But for your more basic user of a, you know, sub $50 radio, you're going to want to have a ton of information, like how to program a local repeater, what a tone is, like what does CTCSS actually mean? And I get it. For your very first radio, 3-4 years ago, you haven't sold any, you want to get a product to market, you want to get some money in your pocket so that you can grow your business and do better. Sure, it's fine to have a lightweight manual. Million units in sales later? No, that's unacceptable. Do a better job with your manuals, radio makers. Talking to you. And especially Baofeng. Baofeng sold billions of radios at this point, I'm sure. Should be pretty easy with that kind of money to turn around and make a better manual. But, you know, that's where your Elmer comes in, that's where YouTube channels come in, that's where live streams come in, it's where we all come in as a community. We can fix all the holes in anything. All right, so what do you get? You get the antenna, you get the radio, you get the battery. The battery has a USB-C hole on it, which is really cool. Pop that, and the battery is 2,500 milliamps, 18.5 watt hours. And then underneath you have the FCC ID. Woohoo! Whoops, get that out of the way. Lanyards, am I right? FCC ID is 2A4FBTD831. For those that are playing along with the FCC ID games. Oh, that went on. I put that on wrong. All right, there we go. The radio is pretty good. I am a pretty large guy, tall, height-wise, and the only thought I have is that the controls are a little farther down. Like there's all of this like hand left here to hold radio with, and to operate the controls, I can't do that. To operate the PTT, I'm a little bit more firm on the controls. There's 2 PTTs, and then probably that's the FM radio button. Oh, flashlight. Gotta have a flashlight on a radio, or it's not a radio. Hold on. I'm gonna get yelled at. Ugh. I guess I'm gonna have to keep getting yelled at because the tab came off, but the screen protector? All right, cool. So I get to keep my screen protector on, and I get to remove the tab, and nobody gets to yell at me. I love it. Awesome. Okay, our antenna is, of course, removable because this is a ham radio. However, there is a magic 3-finger salute you can give this radio to change its modes. The magic 3-finger key is turn the power on, hold down the PTT, and hold down the star key. So I've got the PTT and the star, the big PTT. I'm going to turn it on, and it gives me ham, GMRS, or normal. Ham is ham only, GMRS is GMRS only. It is locked to those frequencies. Let's see what 3 is. And this will erase everything, and it says yes or not at the bottom there. And it's either the BT key for yes, nope, or it's the 1 key for yes. So now it is unlocked, and let's try a frequency that doesn't work. Nope, and now I can transmit on 155. So there's still a limit of frequencies that you can transmit on. Do with that information what you want to do with that information. I don't think that it is a useful thing to be transmitting where you don't belong to be transmitting, and especially not to be interfering. So this radio will work as a GMRS radio or a ham radio. However, if you switch it between modes, it forgets all of its memory and you have to start all over again. Not a big deal for me, but might be a big deal for you. However, it can be programmed via Bluetooth or by USB-C, which is great. So this is another step closer in the direction that we want. I have a USB-C chargeable battery. I have a drop-in cradle that has a USB-C connection on the back of it. And I have USB-C for programming. I do not think you can get USB-C audio out of this, but I will check. Turn it on.
Welcome.
Welcome. That still sounds like the same lady. Oh, we beep on all the things.
44400.
All right, there we go with that. Let's go into our menu. And so this key says BT, and it has a bunch of boxes on it. I'm not really sure what those boxes are supposed to signify, but they are there nonetheless. You push it once and you get into the menu. Let's go down and change our codes and our offset. Oh, it's got that scramble feature. We talked about that. Breath LED. Okay. And this is set for ham 240229. Hopping receive. Nice. So it can scan codes over transmissions. If somebody's transmitting, you can kind of figure out what the code is that way, or you can type them in manually, which is what I'm trying to do. All right, there's my offset. I need that. And I don't know why, but this one here starts all the way over here, but when you're typing in a frequency, it starts at the decimal point. So I'm trying to type an offset of 5, and instead I have 50. That's not right. So I'm going to start with 05. Ta-da. Okay, so now we save that. Direction is positive. That's correct. CTCSS on transmit is correct. CTCSS on receive is correct. All right, so now we can exit. Come on. Are you going to do anything? All right, it is not transmitting today, but it did transmit the other day, so maybe it's something with the repeater. I don't know. Let me check another radio. All right, if a $30 radio won't do it, maybe a $1,300 radio will. All right, we are already set up. All right, the repeater came back there. Huh, so it's got to be a menu setting.
Menu.
TX power high, squelch, let's turn that down. All right, 3 is the magic number. Nope, no repeater tail. All right, offset's correct, direction is correct. Tones are correct, that's off. Tone is correct, that's off. It's supposed to be off. All right, I just took it outside, and no dice. It's actually got a little bit of rainwater on it, not much, but enough, which is why I'm not filming outside. Yeah, and there's a little power meter up here that's telling me my transmit power, and phew, it pegs to 5. It's dark red on black. It's hard to see. You can see that it's changing. I'm going to go check the live stream where we played with this, because I'm pretty sure I set this up on the live stream to transmit here as well.
You're not quite making it in there. You're just barely popping the repeater.
All right, well, it just ain't getting back for some reason. Hey Bill, KM9G here. I'm just testing out a new radio, and I'm a little perplexed as to why it's not working.
Well, whatever you just did, you're blowing my doors out now. Real good.
I changed radios.
Okay, I guess that explains it. Yeah, the other one you just barely hear you in the background. You were barely popping.
Did you hear me clicking a lot, or did you only hear me clicking once? Because I was doing it inside and it wasn't working, then I stepped outside. Maybe you heard me when I was outside.
I don't think it mattered. It was just, here gone, here gone, here gone, here gone, here gone.
All right, cool. Thanks, Bill. I'll keep playing with it.
K9WN mobile.
KM9G, I'll be clear. See, folks, that's how a local repeater is supposed to work. All right, so we've looked at the menus. We've looked at the programming of a repeater from the front panel, which apparently does work. I'm just not hearing the signal. A lot of that can be because the antenna is not polarized the same way as the repeater, and I'm also extremely close to the repeater right now. So let's go on with some other stuff. You get a belt clip, and the belt clip attaches to the battery. You get the drop-in charger that I talked about. You get a lanyard. Well, we love lanyards. You get a power brick to do USB-C type stuff, and it is a 5-volt, 2-amp power brick, and then you get a USB-A to USB-C cable. So we are good to go with all of that stuff. All right, here we have the Tiny SA and Nano VNA Go kit, and this has all of the stuff that I need to get this job done. In that case, in the case of...
9G, KM9G, K9WM.
All right, hang on. All right, so we are back. I want to plug the attenuator directly into the Tiny SA, and then I also want to try my best to plug it directly into the radio so that there are as few things in between the Tiny SA and the radio as possible. And then on the radio, I need to turn that offset off again, because if I test 146.5.2 with the offset on, it's out of band at 5 megahertz up. It's always not the right number of things. So they show you 1, 2, and then 5, so 7. They show you 7 things, but you only need to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it stops. So I'm trying to put in 7, and I wind up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm screwed up. So this whole offset thing needs to be redone. So that is saved. And so what I was talking about is if I do 1, see how it starts over there? I guess it starts the same way.
4, 6, 5, 2, 0.
All right, so we're 146.5.2. We are on high power. Now we've got to go through all of the settings on the Tiny SA. Okay, so I need to go in here and I need to do measure harmonic of 146.52 megahertz. And then I need to go in here and I need to set my level with an external gain of minus 40 dB, and that takes care of the attenuator. And then I need to come back here and I need to do display, draw a line at minus 16.02, because there are 2 requirements. The first one is minus 40 dB down from the fundamental, and the second one is below 25 microwatts, which is minus 16.02 dB. So now we've got all of that done, and we'll start to see it do its test. It takes a minute for it to settle out. And first harmonic is passing down below the blue line, so we are clear. We're at minus 51.7, 51.8 dB down from the primary, so that's good. If you would like some more information on this Tiny SA Go box, then there will be a video up here on the corner, and there will be some links in the description down below. WalkieTalkieSoftware.com. The wireless programmer, continuously updated for many models. I go to the software page. Oh. So if I read this right, I am on Mac OS. So if I have an FTDI chip, I can go to Windows, I can use the manufacturer software, and I can choose models. Or I can go Windows, chirp, and choose models. Or I can go Linux, chirp, and choose models. Or I can go Mac OS, chirp, and choose models. But the way this looks to me is that Mac OS is not supported by the manufacturer software. And then the CH340 chip, you can only use Windows with the manufacturer software and chirp, not the other operating systems. And let's download it. Please log in first. See, this is a problem. I don't want to log in to get software downloads. I was wrong. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna have to create an account. Yuck. It looks like Firefox has this protect your email, so I can use Firefox Relay Email Mask. Let me try that. All right, and we're in with a fake email account and a password that I don't know. Let's go back to software. Let's go back to Mac OS. Let's go to download, and it's taking me to Chirp. Okay, that's what we already thought, and I already trusted Chirp, and why did you need to do that? Now you know you don't need to do that. Since Chirp works with this, let's just chirp it out. So the version of Chirp that I downloaded is dated the day of making this video, so I'm sure that the support for the TDH3 will be awesome. All right, let me go up to download from a radio, which is going to give me a radio to pick and a port, and I have nothing plugged in, so let me plug it in first. All right, radio is plugged in. Let's do this again. Radio, download from radio, and USB serial, and TID. Is it TID or is it Tidradio? And let's do TD. Nope, it's got to be Tidradio then. TDH3. Let's hit OK. Connect cable to mic speak connector. No, I'm going to use the USB port. Make sure connector is firmly connected. It's a USB cable. Turn radio on. Ensure that radio is turned on to a channel with no activity and click OK. And it's cloning. Nothing shows on the face of the radio, but those are frequencies that are in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a clean slate. I'm going to wipe all these out. Let's cut, poof, they're all gone. And then I'm gonna put in my local repeater, 444000, frequency name, W9WAR, tone mode. I think that's a drop down, isn't it? It is. And we're gonna do tone, and the tone is drop down of 110.9. And the tone squelch, we'll just do that one too for good measure. There's no DTCS at all, no polarity, no cross mode. Duplex is positive, offset is 5. Chirp was smart enough to know that that's the positive offset area for the repeaters. Okay, so now we do program, upload to radio, and hit OK. OK. And the radio screen is still dark during this. And then it is no longer dark. Let's see if it worked. Okay, we have a freshly programmed radio. Let's see what this thing looks like. We need to switch over to channel mode. And it is showing the channel. Those are weather channels.
101.
So the only channel that's programmed in is the channel that we did in Chirp and all of the NOAA weather channels. All right, it's working now. So that was something that I did inside of the front panel programming. That was weird today that it wasn't before. I don't know. Let's take a look at those settings. So no offset programmed in. Tone, tone. And direction is also set to none. That's interesting.
Confirm.
Because it actually has an offset and a direction. Menu option 19, MDFA can show the frequency or it can show the name. I'm going to set that to name.
Confirm.
And MDFB, I'm going to switch that over to name as well.
Confirm.
And then if we get out of here, it now has the name that I programmed into it in the software. One of the things that I would like to see on this is a more simple display. This is nice if you want to see a ton of information. Maybe you don't want to see a ton of information. Menu option 36 is sync on. Not really sure why they call it sync, but that's what they call it. So let's turn sync off.
Confirm.
And then when we exit, look, we have a more simple menu. Look at that. Power output test. This is my Shorecom SW102, and I need some adapters to get this thing adapted. And there's a reason why I do this with the included antenna, because you want to know how much power is actually making it out of your antenna. So we are on high power, 146.52. Let's key up. On high power, we get 3.5 watts out and 1.8 SWR, because it has two power modes of high and low. And then this is low power, which is 1.57, 1.58 watts I saw at 2.7 to 1 SWR. Interesting that the SWR went up when the power went down. Usually that is not how that works. Let's do that one more time. Yeah, that's back to high power. Interesting. 446 high power. 5.79 watts, 1.96, and then that is low power, 1.67, and 1.7 SWR. And just for fairsies, let's do a dummy load. High power, transmit power. And we have 1.0 to 1 at 4.9 watts, 146.52 into a dummy load, 4.64 watts. At 1.04. There we go, the Tidradio TD-H3. There are links in the description down below for some more information. It has some really good frequency coverage range. It has some transmit frequencies that a lot of other radios don't have. It can switch between ham and GMRS. These are all really good things. My favorite part is that they are making progress. They're moving forward. The USB-C is almost all the way across the board. I like it. There's a video right over here you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.